How's it going, YouTube? Rangergar here, and today we have a new world life staff abilities and talent and passives discussion. What I have found the most useful over 50 hours of beta gameplay. I've been healing a lot, PvP, PvE, solo content. So we're going to have all those discussion points down below in the timestamps and in the description. I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. So first off that we're going to quickly discuss is gear and attributes. So if you're life staff main, you'll probably want to be medium or heavy armor. It offers the most protection. You do have a less small, you do have a smaller dodge, but just the sidestep will be enough for you to just dodge the basic abilities of most monsters in PvE. And then PvP, you are life staff healing, so ideally you aren't really going around solo PvPing. You can do it, and you probably will have success because you can outlive a lot of people, but you just don't have the quick damage, even if you have a good off DPS weapon. That's something I just wasn't really doing. But for just general content, I was going heavy. I was going focus main. But a lot of heavy gear has constitution and strength on it. So even though you are pumping in your focus attributes every level, you will have quite a bit of constitution and quite a bit of strength just from gear. Like ideally, if you're crafting all your gear, you probably want focus constitution if you're pure healing. And you will find a lot of gear with focus strength, focused constitution, and strength constitution from the faction board, the faction gear, Templar gear. A lot of it has strength constitution or strength focus on it, so you can't really, while you're leveling, you can't have the perfect gear, but you can try your best at it. So that's what I would suggest. So for the talents and attributes and passives, first off we'll go over PvE. Now PvE, there's almost everything is viable. It's going to be so hard to say what is the best. So I'm just going to say what I found was the most useful. So for PvE content, that can just be questing, doing faction boards, rift grinding, or the dungeons. That's going to be the primary first off PvE content. So what I will often use in those 4 PvE contents will be mostly the protector tray. Why? Because it has some of the best just heal over time abilities that you just want. They are just so strong. What they are is beacon and Orb of Protection. So the Orb of Protection applies, you shoot it at it, either an enemy or ally or both, and it fortifies the friend. And then the further passives also apply recovery. And then the final one, Aegis, it actually applies to all allies. So if you're in a big group, everybody's clustered together, Orb of Protection, everybody's got heal over time and fortify. Fortify just reduces damage by 15-20%. It's pretty big. So Orb of Protection will be pretty good. Also the Bend Light, even though you don't have to dodge, you can just dodge and your healing is 20% better. It's great. Now Beacon is a huge, well, it starts off as a small AoE, but you can increase this. So we start off with Beacon. Beacon's an amazing heal over time. It heals all allies within the radius for 20% of your weapon damage, but it's fast. The tick of this heal, I want to say, is like 0.5 seconds. So it's like heal, 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 heal. It's quick. What we want to do is increase the area of it by 50%. This actually makes it extremely huge. The Radiant's Blessing makes Beacon last 5 seconds longer. That's even huger, because then it's lasting for 15 seconds, which means it's only a 20-second downtime. And then when we come over here and get the reduction of the cooldowns, it's pretty short. So we'll go all the way over here. I'm gonna avoid the speed of light for now. The haste in PvE content is not that necessary. What we also will want is Protector Strength if you have a buff, which is simply just maybe even the passive of the shared protection, which will guarantee you always have Fortify and Recovery. This gives you a buff. This means you are just healing for 10% more. So this will be the quick little overview of the Protector. So far, this is a lot of points. This is 9 points. 9 levels. So then we come over here, we want to get Absolved, Life Staff, Light and Heavy no longer take mana to cast. The 2 other passives of this follow-up are excellent for group content. Blissful Touch allows you to just add a little 20% heal every time. We're going to get that. Now the Mending Touch, you can on the early stages when your respec is free. I would suggest maybe not always taking this, because not every mob does a debuff. And if they do a debuff, it's only like a couple second extra dot or slow. It's not that make or break in the early games. And in the early games, you do have some lacking of talent points that you want to spread out. So let's get into it. First off, we're going to only talk about solo content and what attributes and passives we want in our life staff. And the first off we want is in the healing row Absolved. Your light and heavy attacks no longer take mana. It does stop your mana regen while you're casting them. So if you are just spamming it while spamming heals, you aren't really regenerating too much mana, but you're not losing mana. It's just kind of staying still. The next ones that we want are the 2 damage abilities that Healing Staff has, which is Orb of Protection and Beacon. So we come over to the Protector tray. We want Orb of Protection, we want Beacon. At this point, anything is kind of fine because you're not really doing too much damage with the Life Staff. You'll be swapping to any other weapon, whether it's be Hatchet, Sword and Board, anything that you like to use, or anything that complements your other attributes. A lot of items scale off of strength, so that's what I primarily used, was either sword, hatchet, great axe as my secondary. But back to healing. With the Orb of Protections, you'll be gaining levels in them, so you might as well put more attributes somewhere. I would suggest extending the Beacon tray, because Beacon area effect is larger and then it lasts 5 seconds longer. This is just an awesome heal to have going while you're doing solo content, so you don't have to worry about your health. Additionally, Orb of Protection, you can go further on here. If you do need a little bit of a heal, since say your monsters are hitting you a little harder, you don't need to waste health pots. You would just equip Light's Embrace. Now you just have your own little heal. Light's Embrace is the quickest heal cast. Divine's Embrace takes like 1.5 seconds to cast, maybe. Light's Embrace is like 0.8 seconds. It's extremely fast. And then anything further is fine. You can take Balance, you gain a little haste if you're low on health. It helps you run around faster. You can get Inspire, which just increases stamina. Protector Strength is also fine because you'll have buffs from yourself from Orb of Protection. As long as you're waiting for an enemy to be within range of you and you use Orb of Protection, you'll be getting the fortified buff because it is a radius. And then that buff means you have 10% more health with Protector Strength. So that's a very early game. We'll go into a full builds later on. Let's move into the next one, which is group content. Hope you enjoyed this video of life staff suggestions on passives and abilities. There's a lot to go through, and honestly the meta will always change. These were just some of my points in very limited content that we were able to experience within the beta. I would have loved to do more sieges, but the sieges are limited to who gets chosen and your group, that if they're actually defending or attacking. Anyway, these are just what I found best. If you have some other suggestions, please leave them down in the comments. We can always have discussions down there. And as always, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.